I think we're on. I think it's actually up and running at this point in time. Although I've got a thing here that says an error occurred on Facebook. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment and then try again. I'm going to just go ahead and click that button right there.
We're live.
Hey, there it goes. It says go live now. So awesome. Hey, I'm Roper with All Tower Media. I am joined tonight with Roger Noriega. How are you, sir?
I'm doing real well on this hot and blistering day, Matt.
Man, it was actually kind of chilly this morning whenever I woke up. I got up and it was rainy and all that good stuff. It was actually really nice outside whenever I first got going. And then the day decided to start getting hotter, and then it became a sauna of all of the moisture that was in the air, and I hated it so very much. And I hate when my bar does that across the bottom. I don't know what that is, but it's persisted for a while. I just keep getting that. I don't know what that is, but we'll roll with it for now.
I think we will. And folks, I do want to advise everyone that this is, and I'm sorry, I'm already taking.
No, you shut up,
Matt. At the very top of the screen, you now have the buttons that no one else sees. How many people are live and the types of likes.
I show one viewer currently. I show a total of 3 likes and loves, so that's all there.
Yes.
And, it looks like I don't have actual comments. It's just saying that there is the potential of being comments.
Well, we do have one comment, and I believe it's automated, and this is where, and there it is.
Yep. Now, do you click on that in order to make that appear? Yeah, click, and it shows a hide option. All right, that's cool.
Yes.
Cool.
So you have that available to you. Now, we're going to learn how to operate as, of course, Matt has been doing this for years. This is his program. So I begged, pleaded, and asked to be a part of this. And look, now the comments are starting to fly in.
Boom, baby, we're back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm thrilled. I really thought it was going to be Matt and Josh. That's why I said, may I play with you guys?
Oh, yeah.
So
this all started several years ago. And we also have a message here from Landon. Says he's here. Hi, Landon. How are you? Hey, there's that freak out on my computer system. But we started doing this. This is actually where all of All Tower's stuff kind of started as far as the podcast portion of things goes. And it all started over the movie X-Men. Wasn't First Class. It was the time travel one. It was with Kitty Pryde and all of that good stuff. Days of Future Past.
Yes.
Is what it was. And we had a huge argument going on about it, and about when pieces of information were known and how the continuity worked. But in order to be able to actually have the discussion on a podcast, we needed some specific rules. And part of those rules were in order to be able to talk about it on the show, because you're going to be talking about some big time spoilers, you have to walk into it being aware that we're going to do the whole thing. We're going to have the opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're sitting down and going through the movie scene by scene. It means that we're sitting down and we're going to discuss all potential plot points of the movie without any holds against us. And so that's where it really started. Was I was sitting in my living room over at the house that I used to live at, and then Josh would be in his house, and we had the very first episode we had DA on with us.
Oh, wow.
And it was a lot of fun. We got to cover a whole wide variety of topics and all sorts of really great stuff. Yes, Josh, I'm aware not to forget the intro. I'm handling this. I got this. I am not an idiot. I'm an idiot, but not that kind of an idiot. So part of what it is that I wanted to get into with you is I want to be able to discuss these movies, but I wanted to kind of give a little bit of background in regards to Spoilercast before we start rolling into all of the specifics of it. With that said, we do have an intro. I want to get to that intro here in just a moment. I just want to give a little bit of framework in regards to what the show is supposed to be about. And that is going to be us talking about movies or TV shows, books, video games, whatever the case may be, with no real hold against us in regards to the plot points of the movie, TV show, video game, or etc. If we feel like it is worth being talked about, we want to talk about it. If you all have seen the movie that we're talking about, if you've seen the TV show that we're talking about, this is the platform for people to watch along with us to talk about these things, because Roger, you ever watched a brand new show that you're like super excited about, or a movie that you're super excited about? Not everybody's had the chance to sit down and watch it as well. And you're just bubbling at the surface underneath about how you want to talk and theorize about all of the implications of it. But everybody's like, shut up. I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. Right. But spoilers, don't talk about it. I won't talk about it. It's like, but I want to theorize like right now. I want the implications like right now. That's what this is for. That's what kind of started all of this. Is it gives us a platform to be able to talk about these things and share these ideas with people who are also trying to stay on top of these things. That's the idea there. So I'm going to run the intro for us right now, and we'll get started on that. Here we go.
Warning, the Spoilercast does contain spoilers of current and past movies, books, video games, TV shows, and possibly your life. So if you're listening to a show called Spoilercast and you're pissed off that we gave away spoilers, we really don't care. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.
Thanks again and have a wonderful day. That's our dear friend, Allie. She used to be on the podcast with me on a regular basis, and she's hilarious. She re-recorded that intro. Josh used to handle that really early on, and it's evolved since then. She did a really great job, and that's where we're at. So that's kind of the framework of what I want the show to be. We are going to try to run for about 30 minutes. I don't want to get super duper into this, but I gave you a task on a previous show. Did you happen to come up with anything for that?
I played around with two of them, but okay. I did actually. The task was this, and it's the easiest gimme, just to show you, Matt, that yes, I'm in. Okay.
All right.
It probably everyone's going to rip me. It's probably a cop out because it has been established, but I have several special mentions. I did give this thought, Josh, but here it is.
I'm not Josh.
You're right, man. I'm so sorry. I looked right at his name, clicked it. I'm not sure if you noticed that. The moment you clicked that, I saw his name and I said that, so I do apologize. How could I mistake you for Josh? Oh, my goodness. Like an officer and a gentleman.
Simple mistake.
Yes, and I'm sure I'll get called many, many other names as well, and I'm all right with it.
Like Babyface Roger?
Yeah, you know what? I knew I was going to be on a new program, and I had to be younger because I couldn't be the old man that I am, so I went ahead and shaved. Actually, I shaved last night because I was going to the theater alone.
Hey, look, and
I was alone!
You look good. You look good. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. You look fantastic.
Oh, they do, and I appreciate it. I still get, hey, you've got a face for radio. And the non-video radio.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Do you tell them that you're in radio and that you do these things and then give them all the link information?
As a matter of fact, I tell them all the time. NDBmedia.net.
Hey, there you go. See, I get things like this. I get told I'm a special idiot. So
that was funny, yes.
And then Miranda's joined us. How are you doing, Miranda? I hope you're not dying in your raid tonight.
But I do want to say that we are getting quite a bit of love this evening.
Yeah, we are. We're up to, what is that, 5 and 6? So 6 total between the hearts and likes. 5 people watching us right now. So before I click on this next one to show Josh's comment, which I will do here in just a moment, you were given a task, and you said that you gave it some effort. Your task, the homework that I gave you was to try to combine 2 movies into a single continuity style universe, right?
Yes.
Did you come up with anything on that?
Well, the first one is the honorable mention. I don't know if you actually remember this one. It's not a movie, it's a TV show.
Okay.
And I believe they're in the same universe because they are in the same universe when you consider. It's an old television program of the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. One of them is called Battlestar Galactica.
Absolutely.
The original one.
Yep.
And then there was a series that followed not long after. Did you see the A-Team?
Yeah.
Do you recall the episode when they were on the Universal Studios lot?
Oh, okay.
Okay, this was really cool. And this is one of the first times as a youngin' I discovered what an homage or an inside joke was or is.
Okay.
Face is standing outside, and they're on the tour set, and all of a sudden a Cylon passes them by. And you all know Face, Dirk Benedict, was Starbuck. And he looks at the Cylon go by, and he's like, nah. And that was it. That was it. It was such a subtle joke. It was an in-joke, and, well, I think it was, that's the easiest one. That's the honorable mention.
Right,
Those A-Team and Battlestar Galactica are in the same universe. So,
Okay, I like that.
now, only because I have to get better at this, and I wanted to impress Matt. He's going to say that this is the cop-out. Okay, it happened both in 1996, and then it happened in 2009. These were the two obvious connections.
Okay.
In 1996, a movie Star Trek First Contact appeared. And in the battle with the Borg, and if you haven't seen the movie, that's your fault.
See, and that's kind of the point, right? It's like, how long's this movie been out at this point? You got every opportunity to now, right? How much are we really spoiling here?
Now, in the movie, in the background, you have to look very carefully, but the Millennium Falcon is in the battle of Sector 001. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but in what they call the JJ verse or the Abrams verse,
right.
In all three movies, there's a scene where the Enterprise is damaged significantly, and you can see R2-D2 either being blown out of the ship or in space. So again, Matt, I know, here we go. You have every right, but they are cop-outs because I have to do a better job. I will be more prepared next time. But this one, I connected Star Wars and Star Trek because you find the Millennium Falcon in First Contact, and that's just one. There are others.
I love this. Okay.
And then in both of the... wait. Those are the Star Trek movies. Oh, I apologize. There's a Star Wars one as well. Oh my goodness. Star Trek shows up in Star Wars. Oh my goodness.
Going both directions with this then.
Yeah, it was in both directions. And oh my goodness. Okay. I believe in The Force Awakens, there's the connection. Remember where they're launching the attack on the ice planet?
Right.
They have to take out Oscillating Station 47.
Right.
That is the obvious other connection. Do you know where 47 originated from, Matt, by the way? Because I'm really off track right now.
Not actually, off the top of my head.
Right one exit east of me, where I live here in Pomona.
Oh, wow.
Indian Hill is exit 47 on the San Bernardino Freeway. So you follow it north.
No, you said it was hot down there, though, right?
Yes, it's very hot right now. If you take 47 north, or exit 47, which is Indian Hill, it leads you to the Claremont Colleges. And at the Claremont Colleges, everything, or a lot of stuff, is numbered 47. Studio 47.
Right.
And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's others. So it was done as an in-joke by alumni to see how, in the same manner that 47's all over their campus, see how they could get into the movies as well.
Well, that's fantastic.
So that's what 47 is. Now, everyone does it. It's 47.
Right. So, Thomas, let's see here. Dream. What's up, Dream? The real nightmare. Roger shaved.
I'm sorry, Matt. He's the star. I was going to the theater alone. Is that desperation or what?
He also pointed out that in Indiana Jones, R2-D2 and C-3PO are graffitied on the wall, hieroglyphics on the wall in the background.
Do you recall in the first movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's why he gives Indiana Jones, R2-D2, and C-3PO, and I'm like, hey, here's what it is that he's referring to. So hopefully I do know what he's talking about. Roberts, thank you again. I appreciate the love on the new show here. Glad to be back doing this again. Movies is something I love. I love theorizing about things and putting stuff together like that. Josh, you ended up pointing out that the challenge, we tie Jaws into the Avengers movie. Doable. I mean, there are sharks that exist in the world. I mean, there's nothing really...
Jaws and Avengers.
There's nothing really overly outstanding about like Jaws. I mean, it can exist in really the background of any movie. You don't even have to like suggest that it takes place. I mean, it could have occurred in the history of the Avengers movie, right? Because they stipulate a timeline like when the movie Jaws is occurring, right? It's like gives you a year, if I remember correctly, sometime during the movie, like you're aware of when it is occurring, right? And so if you look at Avengers, which the movie Avengers takes place in 2012, according to the movie, If that takes place in the 80s, then you just say, okay, the movie Jaws exists within the history or the timeline of the Avengers movie. So for me, I look at, did you ever see the movie The Rocketeer?
Yes, I saw it once, many, many moons ago.
Okay, so you're aware, sir, that The Rocketeer occurs at the same time or roughly the same time as Captain America, the first Avenger, because both movies are owned and properties by Disney. Both of them deal with World War II era conflict happening in the background of the movie itself. You've got a pilot out on the West Coast that is working with basically jetpack technology, and he's fighting against Nazis or people that are like associated with the Nazi party. And then you have Captain America, who's over on the other coast and then subsequently overseas, again fighting the Nazis. So technically speaking, you could suggest or imply that the Rocketeer is a portion of the or is in the background of the MCU in some capacity. Just saying. That's a boom, shared universe.
All right, fair enough. I don't know if you witnessed this one or had a chance, but this was one of the most awesome shared universes, and I saw it back in, I think it was in 1991, and I went to the theater, of course, to see Predator 2. Okay. And you've seen the movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the very end, the throne room.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching it, and I looked up and went, oh my God! It was the alien skull. It wasn't long after the 80s, and it turned out to be true that they were connected.
The xenomorph head on the wall, so those are really specific on the nose. Here's something in the movie that says this actually does exist within this world, right? Now, have you seen the movie Cowboys and Aliens?
No, as a matter of fact, I missed out, but now I'm going to have to see it.
Okay, so Cowboys and Aliens is actually, I kind of like it. It's really hokey, but like you could watch the movie Cowboys and Aliens, and you could also infer from that scene that you're literally talking about right now kind of leads credence to the same thing, because it's supposed to have taken place like in 1873. And aliens like arrive. They've abducted a dude. He ends up getting away. He's got a piece of like their technology strapped to his arm that's basically like a wrist cannon, and it's got Harrison Ford in it.
It's Harrison Ford. Does it have?
It's not. He's not. It's not. He's not the main guy. He's just a guy in the movie. Harrison Ford is in the movie, but
is Daniel Craig in that movie?
That's the main character.
That's the one I was thinking of. So I know I will see that one for next time. And I'm going to have to get a list from you to see additional movies.
Oh, see, the thing is, I love watching just movies. I love good stories. And as Josh has heard me say just countless times, I will sacrifice a lot of like quality in the movie as far as like CGI work and things of that nature goes, if you've got a good, compelling story. When you start, drifting further and further away from a good, compelling story, and you go up in your budget as far as like your CGI and things of that nature goes, or you go for the special effects and things of that nature, I start to kind of lose it just a little bit, because I'm like, I want a good story told to me. That's what I'm always looking for. Pat is here.
Yes. I love my cousin, but we already commented to each other that we're going to do the axe thing. All kidding aside, my cousin is up for it.
Yes.
I want to give you a tiny bit of trivia connection.
Okay.
The weekend after that I was married to my significant other, that still is at the time being, she had her quinceañera, which, of course, as you know, I just gave it away. It was her 15th birthday. So 1 week after we were married, it was the next Saturday, they celebrated her quinceañera.
Oh, wow.
I'll never forget that. And it was really fun.
Well, that's fantastic. It's actually 2 days from now will be my son's birthday. So yeah,
absolutely awesome. Gotta air it out. Yeah,
he'll be 7 years old. So
his first name, Matt?
Griffin. Yep.
From everyone in the chat room, I know I speak for them right now. Griffin, happy birthday, young man. I hope you're doing well. 7 years old. Don't let it go by so fast. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't even know what I'm talking about. Enjoy every day, Griffin. Enjoy it.
Joyce, this is live right now, so glad to have you on board with us. Thank you for tuning in. Up to 10 likes, loves there, 7 people currently watching. I appreciate everyone tuning in and checking us out. Now that we've kind of gone over some things, DA, thank you for the happy birthday wish for him. I'm positive you will love that. He gets a big kick out of this. We've gone to a restaurant at one point in time, and he got to stand up on a counter and actually the owner of the restaurant was like, it's his birthday, and everybody in there ends up singing to him. He loved it. It was fantastic. Happy birthday. Make sure you buy lots of stuff. He has lots of toys. Toys are definitely not in short supply around here. Joyce, thank you. It is a great age to have him. He's such a good kid. He's running around earlier today playing video games. He was actually sitting over there on the couch. He left a bunch of his toys sitting out. There's a pink guitar sitting over there that's not his, but he was playing it. He's a wild man. What can I say?
That's awesome. I do have to point out, folks, just behind Matt, I guess our stage right, but behind him to his left, there it is I guess it's on the mantle here.
It is. Yeah.
Look at that, baby. I told my daughter about that today. I said, Matt has, and she said, the shield.
I've got the sword sitting right there on the couch. You can actually see it kind of shining over there on the very corner.
If you get a chance, Matt, either today or within, we would love to see that sword. That is bragging rights, folks. That is absolutely awesome. Look at that, baby. Oh, that is absolutely awesome, folks. I'm going to have my daughter, Gmo, tune in to see that one moment. That is awesome. Oh, she's missing out right now.
I love it. I love this thing.
Oh, yeah. But seeing the sword, seeing the shield back there, it's great. My daughter, as you've seen on all of our other programs, when she gets out of work, it's show and tell. She's got a lot of neat stuff. But anyway, yes, Ross, who was a guest on Monday Night America.
Hey, Ross. Take it, sit on a saddle. Every time I've ever suggested we go to like Texas Roadhouse or here in town for a lot of time, we had Logan's. Was another place here in town. He'll always tell you, oh, I eat too much there. It makes my tummy not feel good. And I'm like, okay, well, we won't go there. But Joyce, he said, I love kids. They're so much fun. They have great energy, happy. Yeah, absolutely. They're just a ball of joy. Kids, they love watching movies, TV shows, things like that too. And my girls, they're really getting heavy into anime, and they really like The Promised Neverland and Sword Art Online. But today I was like, okay, you got to sit down. You need to give this show a try. And I got them watching Assassination Classroom. And, it's a lot of fun. They're like, why is he made of tentacles? It's so weird. And I'm like, it is. It's fantastic though. So shut up. All right, so we're actually down to 23 minutes as of right now. So we burned through like most of this episode so quickly, just kind of doing a recap. And I kind of assumed that was what was going to happen in the first one, just kind of getting our legs, giving everybody kind of an idea about things. As you can tell, we haven't dived into new content, which we're going to do right now. And so we are going to bleed over just a little bit, and I'm okay with that. But in the future, I'm going to try to get straight into the new movies that we're talking about. And that's also going to be a little bit more streamlined as we move forward. But I kind of assume that that's the way this is going to play out today. So you've watched a couple of new movies, to my understanding. You said that you went and saw Escape Room?
Yes, Tournament of Champions today with my youngest, Gmo. Everyone knows her.
Nice. And then you said you also went and saw...
the night before, it was
A Quiet
Place Part 2.
Yep. And then what was the other one?
Friday, Black Widow.
Nice. Okay.
So, yes.
So overlapping for me, I have seen A Quiet Place 2, and I've seen Black Widow. I have not seen, nor do I really want to see, the Escape Room Tournament of Champions. It's not that I don't want to. I guess I don't want to take the time to. I'll eventually see it, but like I don't care. Kind of like I really didn't care to go see the movie Spiral, with the exception of. Have you seen Spiral? Did you watch that?
Again, my daughter. So yeah, okay.
So Spiral is a continuation ish to the Saw movies, right? And it's Chris Rock and all of that good business and whatever. But like the reason I got excited to go see it wasn't because of the movie Spiral. It wasn't because of the Saw movies. Are you familiar with the online personality, Chris Ramsey, that does like the puzzles and the magic and stuff like that?
Yes.
Did you know that he's in that movie?
No.
Yeah, he is. I was more excited about that and him being in this movie than I was for the rest of the movie. I was like, that dude is awesome. He's actually pretty fantastic. And
can you tell I'm taking notes?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, if you have a chance to sit down and I'll send you some of my favorite links or some of videos with him. He does like a breakdown of watching other people do magic tricks, and he's like, "Oh, that's real smooth," or he'll teach people how to do kind of basic magic tricks and stuff like that. So I'd been watching him like solve puzzles and stuff like that, and he's fantastic. Josh, you're absolutely correct. Chris Ramsey is awesome, and I'm also glad that Bella is tuning in and checking out some anime as well. That's actually really cool. I really want Josh's kid, Bella, to meet my kids because I really think that they would really get along. I think that'd be kind of awesome. But yeah, Chris Ramsey is really awesome, and watching some of his stuff is really pretty cool. But I suddenly was like, "Holy crap, he's in this movie!" And that's so awesome. He has he's kind of a thug in the movie, and he has a trap that's sent to him, and it like blows up in his face. And turns out he ends up doing his own stunts for the thing. It's pretty cool. But I was really excited for A Quiet Place 2 because I really liked the first one. Like, I really liked the first one. Yes. My only hang up, I'm assuming you saw the first one.
Yes.
My only hang up with the first one is like they become aware at some point in time in their history that the waterfall is a safe place for them to be at, and they can yell and scream and kind of be just whatever, right? And there's no real foul there. So I can't quite figure out why they don't just like, I don't know, live at the waterfall.
Yeah.
And then like commute to the farm to get their supplies and stuff like that. Or like, yeah, I mean, it's risky, obviously, going back and forth between the two locations, but like, I don't know, maybe I've played too many like zombie survival games to do this because, but for me, I'd go, hey, why can't we start like digging a hole from the farm all the way across underground to the waterfall and just have these two locations as like our thing, and have the waterfall as your fallback point if like the big spooky alien monsters that like beat the crap out of anything making sound. Like why didn't they do that, right?
Yeah. I hadn't given it thought, but I do agree that should have been a fallback point, which they never had it set up. But then again, I guess, Josh, maybe some of the thinking would be is it's a young family. Oh my God, I did it again, man! Oh, I just lost my job. I realize it only says Josh. Roper right there.
Still not Josh.
Oh, I can't believe I've done that twice now. That is beyond embarrassing. I am
Plot
so
Armor
sorry.
needed a sequel, and I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, if you're going to build into your story and your world and universe and all that thing. And I get that they're after that dollar bill. I get that, but like if you're going to build that in there, then like explain it away, right? Give a justifiable reason why that's not plausible for you to be able to do that, or it is plausible, but you just couldn't get there, or someone else was there, right? Somebody else had gone to that spot and found out that it's a safe place for them to be at, and now they've got like a gun and they're preventing you from being able to be there as well, or whatever the case may be, right? Like it's not super complicated to like write that into the story, have that as a thing, and then back away from it as a feasible option for people to be able to like go, oh, okay. He recognizes the better host, he says. Do you see this? He recognizes the better host. Wow. I'm hurt. Okay. So,
all right. First of all, Matt, I apologize for being an old man. And two, Josh, you're taking advantage of the fact that I'm an old man. So it is really unfair. And it's not that I recognize the better host. All I can say is that Matt wanted to do this, and I begged to be a part of it. That's all I can say.
I'm so glad you're here, actually.
So Josh, take that.
with the new one, okay. So with the new movie, you're following the wife, right, and then the kids, like immediately following the events of the first movie.
Yes.
But you get some flashbacks to prior to the first movie, but like the day of the arrival of these creatures, right? Which is awesome. I love seeing that. Because they start to kind of figure out that what's making them tick to a degree.
Yes.
Like right out the gate. Like, okay, so I constantly wonder about how many people would actually legitimately survive during a zombie apocalypse, right? Like everybody in their head, I believe in their head, they're like, I'd be one of the survivors. It's like, okay, there are droves of the undead. You're probably not one of them. Sorry. It's just, have you ever actually shot a gun before? Have you ever actually done any of these things? What actual skill sets do you have that allows you to think that you're going to be one of those people? And then I saw a post on one of the zombie groups that I believe we're both a portion of. Maybe I don't know if you are or not, but I know that I am. And someone had posted up a thing about how the military is completely inept whenever it comes to surviving in a zombie apocalypse, whereas the common citizen is like the best, of course, according to like books and movies. Like it's always the military is completely incapable of handling this situation, but Joe Blow with a shotgun over here suddenly is like the best hope for humanity, apparently, right?
Matt, it's interesting because I always thought of it this way, that the military, unfortunately, had to defend those sheep. And there's always one that would blow the perimeter because they weren't following rules, instructions. And I always thought that the single guy or the single unit would be able to survive. I believe military units did survive.
Sure.
But think of the DA novels. They talk about this at one of the big hospitals. Everything was a mess because they try to go in there. Or am I mistaking the DA novel with the AMC program? Oh, the Walking Dead.
So Dream was asking for a link. Could you send that over to him since I'm not super versed in this real fast here?
No problem. I will right now.
While you're doing that, I was going to point out a thing. So for me, I look at it and I go, okay, in the event of a zombie apocalypse kind of thing, or in the event of aliens landing, since we're going to stay on point for new movies and content and things of that nature. One thing that the government and the military and all that good stuff is real good at doing is they try to contain a threat, not necessarily eliminate a threat to begin with, because what kind of potentials does it have for like studying weaponizing and things of that nature? How could this potentially be beneficial to us? So they might not necessarily be trying to like eradicate the zombie outbreak, right? And as a result, they're trying to handle it safely, but at the same time, they're not exactly making the best choice here. They're also having to operate with kind of their hands tied behind their back to begin with, because you have to, in law enforcement and military and things of that nature, to a degree, because I have plenty of friends that are both law enforcement and military, where they have to at first treat it as if these are just regular people. And you don't want to be that guy that ends up on the news suddenly because you blasted somebody thinking that it was a zombie and it's not really a zombie. And now all of a sudden, like, that's a problem kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so they're a little bit hesitant. Whereas you've got random Joe citizen out here going, well, I was afraid for my life. I don't know why I suddenly adopted a very weird accent for that particular thing, but I did.
Caught it.
And so... That's a thing. Lewis says he would be.
That's my brother, and his name is Luis.
Lewis. That's what I said, right?
No,
that's right.
Yes. You know how he spells my name, right?
No, how? With
he spells it Rodger.
With a D. Yes. Yeah, with a D.
Yeah.
Just start calling him Dewis.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Good. Yeah.
What's up, Dream?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm still at work, so I wanted to take a quick break and jump in because I know you're not going to go on all night like Nightmare Hunter and stuff.
Whoa! We have
Structure. So what's up, Dream? You got a thought?
Yes. We were talking about all sorts of stuff, and I couldn't type fast enough.
Fair.
So you guys changed topics like 20 times, and I couldn't type fast enough.
19.
That's what happens whenever you're operating on a strict schedule time frame.
I know, and you keep structured. So first off, E.T. and Star Wars are in the same universe.
Yes.
We already know this.
Yes.
You see the E.T. type alien in Star Wars in the panels and stuff when they're talking about in the Senate. And then you also see when they're walking around for Halloween in E.T., you see the little Yoda costume dude walking around.
Yep, exactly.
And E.T. recognizes him and like stares at him for a minute.
Yep.
Anyway.
But you know the connection in episode 1. When they're doing the vote, you can see the ETs in one of the.
Yeah, that's
so it's a double.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
And, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't catch that. But folks, I understand what Matt was asking, and I copped out by using these cheap ones right now.
So
for next time, I will be ready, Matt.
And that's perfectly okay. So what I want is, Dream, I want you to like watch the movie Legally Blonde and then explain to me how it shares the same universe as like Dracula Untold, right?
Yes.
You realize I have 3 daughters and I know Legally Blonde.
Okay, good. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying. The point that I'm making is I'm picking out 2 like really far apart, right? I'm not necessarily saying that. In this one scene, you can see this thing over here that absolutely.
We're not talking Easter eggs,
right?
We're uniting universes here.
Correct. So by sitting down and like I said, there's nothing necessarily that says that the Rocketeer exists within the same universe as the MCU, specifically Captain America, the First Avenger. However, you can go, okay, the major event of the world. So any World War II movie, The Sound of Music, right, is
oh my god,
is occurring in the background of both the Rocketeer and Captain America, the First Avenger, right?
And somehow there's a war horse riding around.
Exactly. Also, Indiana Jones is someplace sneaking around in the rubble while Nazis are burning books. Just saying, like these are things that are occurring. I'm using the backdrop of all of these stories to say, okay, because of this, you can connect these things. But to go a step beyond that, my friend Adam, our good friend Adam, who works over here with us at Altara Media, he came up with one of the best ones that I've heard. Yeah. And that's Dream, have you seen Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Yes, I was there for the last show and you're explaining it. I love it. I love that.
Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets introduces the whole principle of the Horcrux, and then the movie The Ring is the other movie that we're talking about here. And he suggests that the little girl in that movie is in fact a witch who knows about Horcruxes through whatever means, doesn't actually get into that. It's not necessary to get into it. She knows about them and is attempting to create one. And through the process of creating one, she herself dies. And then the Horcrux that is supposed to like hold her fractured spirit in place allows her to constantly come back to life. And so you're watching The Ring, which is actually a movie of humans or muggles dealing with a cursed wizard object. And that adds a whole new layer to that movie, which is amazing.
Well, I'm going to one-up you on that because I love The Ring combining with Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And how The Ring is just Sauron's ring that was found in modern times in Japan, and it washed up. And that's how it's coming back to life.
That was a good response, Roger. I like that.
And then we remember that little theme that they did. But what if it wasn't? But the ring was destroyed. But what if it wasn't?
But what if it wasn't?
Right.
Right.
You saw that. That was good. But a Dream, you of all people, dude, it was.
Well, what if?
What if it wasn't?
No. What if before it came up to Bilbo, it actually was like maybe a time jump? That's why it was lost for so many years.
Oh, so it fell into like an eddy.
Yeah, because it was down inside inside Gollum's cave, which could easily have, there could have been. I mean, the ring is magic. Fuck it, why not? There are many magic rings, Frodo, and none of them are to be taken lightly.
Oh my gosh,
dude, he may be.
Gollum fell into the fire, but
I know. I laughed at that one too. On the fire, but missed.
So how do we know that there wasn't some magical time properties in there as well?
Perhaps.
Because it does grant the wearer unnatural long life.
True.
So it does play with life essence and time. So it could have jumped into modern times.
I love
May I add the connector to it for those of you kids back in the 70s and 80s, the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh yeah.
The Cave of Time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There it is.
All right. So
there's your connection.
Dun, dun, dun.
It doesn't necessarily have to be one movie. Okay. It doesn't even have to be the same characters. All right. And let me explain to you here. Have either of you seen Big Trouble in Little China?
Yes.
I'm making sure you can't assume with some people. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China. Have you seen the movie Black Dog?
I've seen Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Nope. Black Dog. Patrick Swayze is a truck driver.
Oh.
Okay.
But Patrick Swayze.
I may have. Driver. Yes, I may have.
Okay.
Could be an Over the Top.
Now, have you seen Escape from L.A. or Escape from New York? Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to suggest that the main character, although we're talking about two separate people, we are talking about Patrick Swayze and what's his name?
Liskin, right?
Yeah. What's the actor for
Russell?
Russell. Kurt Russell. Okay, so we're talking about two different actors.
Kurt Swayze.
So, okay. In the movie Big Trouble in Little China, the main character, is a truck driver. Jack Barton, okay? The old Jack Barton driving his truck, all that good stuff. Obviously, he's got some kind of nefarious connections because he's gambling and all that good stuff, and he's rolling around with all these guys. He talks a big game. It's a big, he's a big game talker, all that good stuff. But at the end of the movie, he doesn't stay with them. He rolls on, but he's seen some shit now, right? And then, of course, there's the monster that's on the back of his truck, so he had to deal with that and all that good business. I suggest that his character in that continues to fall in tune with bad guys and underground organizations and stuff like that. And that's when you get into the character for the movie Black Dog. Now, he's got a different name at this point in time because he's going through the witness protection program and all of that good stuff. But through the course of that movie, he actually ends up getting in bed with more criminal bad guys who are having him smuggle goods, okay? By the end of that movie, he ends up, again, getting kind of like out of the bad guy ring. But obviously, he's kind of drifting in and out of being this good guy / bad guy kind of thing, where he's kind of this anti-hero dude, right? More years pass. He's ultimately ended up in prison a couple of times. Ultimately, he's adopted an entire another persona. He's come up with a whole background about himself, who he is, who he was, and all of that good business. And he's taken on the persona of Snake. He is has some military background because it's suggested that's why he's capable of like handling firearms and things of that nature. He talks a big game, but there's some reality and some truth to some of those things. Ultimately, I'm bridging the connection between Big Trouble in Little China and the Escape from New York and Escape from LA movies, that they are all following the same character who started off as somebody in the military at one point in time, way back in his past, who then became a truck driver, started getting tangled up with some bad dudes, and then progressively through the course of his life ends up on the island of New York / LA.
Okay, I like that one. Try this one on for size. We've got Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Uncle Iroh.
Okay.
Somehow gets fed up with the Fire Nation and leaves that universe, leaves that world, and decides he's going to travel into our world. Now, you can say, well, it's a completely different type of world. Okay, Fire Nation and all this shit, but he leaves all that behind and he moves to Japan. Which case he lives out the rest of his life to kind of like going through Japan, going through the war, and then he comes to America and changes his name to become, when he leaves the Fire Nation, to become Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid, and takes on Daniel-san as his apprentice.
You can make kind of a similar argument by adding in the universe or the movie of the Forbidden Kingdom, the one with Jet Li and Jackie Chan.
The Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this is the kind of game that I like to play by taking movies and trying to create these overlapping things. We are at the 45-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap things up here. I want Roger, do you have any thoughts on Black Widow? I don't really want to dive into it in its entirety, so we kind of dodged that bullet just a little bit. It is still relatively new, and I don't want to necessarily tromp on everything, but like at the same time, what'd you think? Do you like it?
Let me give you two. I'll do the other movie as well. But yes, actually I did. I was, I know the history of Black Widow, but there was a lot more. And unfortunately, the movie does suffer a little bit of the weight of such.
Lies.
But no, it's actually good if you're paying attention. There is significant payoff. And seeing her on screen once again, because we know what happened.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Did I enjoy it? Yes. And for those that have already seen it,
that's the point of this whole show. You don't have to do that.
So look, at the very end, my jaw drops. I'm like, wait up! Whoa, no! So they're obviously setting something else up because
the
lies are lies.
The post credit scene. And before I actually get to this, because I'm going to go ahead and do this, we do have a sponsor for Altower Media, which is Swift Lifestyles. And if you guys get a chance, get over and check out their website, swiftlifestyles.com. They do energy drinks, things of that nature. You got a bunch of gear on there as well. If you are interested in any of their merchandise, you have a discount code from us that is ATM Life 15. That's Altower Media Life 15. Get on there, put that in, check it out. It is totally worth getting some love.
And you will definitely have enough energy to get through an episode of The Nightmare Hunter.
Ooh, shots fired. He had a spit take just then. Josh says, love Black Widow. Its story. And you are not wrong. It is a great story.
Agreed.
And that's kind of the thing. I did want to talk about this a little bit, and then I'm going to wrap it up right here at the end of the Black Widow conversation. Black Widow tells a really great story. It doesn't try to outshine anything prior to itself. It has to operate within a very specific scope of where it can be. It's like Rogue One, right? Everybody's aware of how Rogue One's supposed to kind of like fit into this little pocket. You know that you can't exactly extend past that, and so you have to create a closed loop. It's kind of the same thing with Black Widow. Now, end of the movie, there is a post-credit scene where you're seeing her sister showing up at her grave. Then the chick from Seinfeld shows up and decides to hand I had to do it. So she shows up to hand off some documentation suggesting that it's Clint Barton that's the person who killed her sister. And she's like, you want some revenge? And we've seen throughout the course of the movie that she's fully capable of getting out there and whipping some ass, boy. And so I was talking with my roommate, Hannah, following watching this movie, because we went and saw it together, that I believe, and I'm normally wrong in these things, but it would be super awesome. I personally believe and feel like this is grounds to start really suggesting for the potential of the Dark Avengers sometime on down the line. Because her sister is the bad guy version of the Black Widow, because they've already got her at odds with Hawkeye. Bullseye is a potential once again as a result of them continuing on having Charlie Cox in the MCU as Daredevil, and Daredevil goes round and round with Bullseye on a regular basis. Bullseye is, or could potentially be, the bad guy version of Hawkeye. Norman Osborn is your main villain. he's the Green freaking Goblin, right? But like he gets rid of being the Green Goblin, and now he's like the president, and he's disassembled all of the Avengers, and he's reassembled them as bad guy versions of everything. And so, as a result of having Spider-Man playing such a significant role, there's the potential of having Norman Osborn, because he's kind of tropey at this point. You have a Spider-Man movie, you almost have to have Norman Osborn in there someplace, or at least mention of Norman Osborn. And he ends up actually becoming the Iron Patriot, which we've already established that the Iron Patriot is in fact a thing, because War Machine was the Iron Patriot for a short period of time, but no longer wears that particular suit of armor. The only thing that we're really missing is Ragnarok, which is the robot version of Thor, but I'm not suggesting that it's not impossible. It's still a possibility. Who else we got? We got, Venom. Venom is also one of the alternate for the bad guy version of Spider-Man.
Tony! Oh, sorry.
Each one of these things, what I'm getting at is each one of these things are either in place or have the potential to be in place. You could literally build, and I would love the opportunity to watch a Dark Avengers movie where you have all of the bad guy versions of themselves. And of course, Josh just mentioned here that Thunderbolt kind of already been pseudo-confirmed, which Thunderbolt is, if you don't know, the Red Hulk. So you have another alternate version of the Hulk right there. Totally a possibility. Like I said, it'd be kind of amazing.
Honestly, I would love to see a Beta Ray Bill movie.
Right? Oh my God, I love Beta Ray Bill.
Jesus. I love the little Easter egg,
yep,
where he was on the
Sakaar.
Gladiator Tower.
Yep, he's one of the faces on the tower for Sakaar.
Yep.
Yep, buddy.
Oh my God, that would be freaking amazing if he comes in and just whoops some tail.
Dream, did you see Black Widow? Have you seen it?
I did.
Okay.
It's so good.
I did.
I enjoyed it.
Very, very pleased with how it came out. Like I said, I wasn't expecting superhero action movie. I was expecting like a James Bond spy movie, which is kind of, it fell somewhere in the middle, which I was, very happy with.
Which, if you watch Ant-Man and you go into that with the expectation of it being a heist movie with superheroes, you get a heist movie with superheroes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so in this one, you get a spy movie with superheroes.
Exactly. And that twist in for the, the climax of the movie with the whole swapping of stuff, that is perfect for a spy movie.
Yeah. So what you have to understand, Dream, you're on my show, Spoilercast. We talk about all of the things. What you're referring to at that point in time is the fact that there's a scene where you believe that Black Widow has been knocked out. Turns out Black Widow's not been knocked out. She's using a face swap technology, which we've seen her wear before in the MCU. So that's not new technology. That's something that's already been there already.
But you forget.
Kinda. But you see it on the wall behind her mother.
Right.
That conversation. But she swaps faces with her, but it's not really a face swap thing. It's not like the movie Face Off. They just use that technology to like allow her to look differently. And they do a pretty good job about it, but they did do a kind of a tropey cliche thing with showing her legs hanging out in the room without actually showing her face.
Right, but who fell for it? Okay, that was, I'll give them credit. They went that way, Matt. And look, it suckered a lot of the audience.
Yeah.
For me, when that happened, mine was like, wait. It wasn't that easy. I missed what you're talking about, the screen technology. I did, but looking back, I'm like, oh, damn, it was there. But I didn't catch that. But when they knocked her, I was like, wait, So I knew something was up. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah. And Kevin Feige is now dancing around the fact that Venom might be in the MCU, and he's playing his maybe not, but maybe, which is usually a yes. And then Josh also says Beta Ray Bill has been confirmed for Love and Thunder. Yes. All right, so that's all of the points that I was wanting to get out tonight. I feel like we touched on a lot of different subject matters here. We will be a little bit more uniform next time around. I'll figure out who my next time host is. We'll be doing this every other week. So 2 weeks from now, we'll have another episode of Spoilercast. We're going to figure out what movies that we're going to be watching of new content. And then whoever I'm going to have on, Roger, if you're going to be joining me again, and I really hope you are, we will try the game one more time where you watch 2 movies, or minimum 2 movies or 2 shows. Try to bridge connections there. I think it makes for some really interesting talking points. And
I guess we'll get Bad Batch next time, and we'll get Loki next time as well.
Yep, because that
Peace
should
out,
be
guys.
that. Have a good night, Dream. And then Richard, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you jumping in, checking us out tonight. We're up to 14 likes with 6 viewers as of right now. I'm pretty pleased with that, actually.
Hell yeah.
You know, for the pilot episode of the sequel here. I am going to run our little outro piece here, which is a send off that Allie had tried to do at one point in time. She's trying to do our closeout, and she kind of botched it a little bit. And I used to run this at the end of most of the episodes of Spoilercast. So I'm going to hit that at the end of it. We will call it totally good. I'll say our goodbyes as soon as it's over with. So here we go.
Make sure to check out our website, All Tower. Fucking hell.
Bloody hell, mate.
Let me try that one again.
So she was trying real hard to create our little plug there. Didn't work out so well. Again, check out the banner rolling across the bottom there of Swift Lifestyle for your energy drink needs and things of that nature. I definitely need it myself. Roger, maybe help you kind of perk up just a little bit and recognize me as not Josh. And
that was 2 bitch slaps, by the way. Not just one, but 2.
Just looking for another chance to, plug the sponsor there, give them an opportunity to get some of our viewership. So, everyone, thank you again for tuning in, checking us out for Spoilercast this time around. We will see you guys in about 2 weeks. All right.
See you guys on the other side.